Hello. In this video, we'll take the analysis bit a notch higher, and we'll create something called applications that you can do in Google AI Studio, where you can create specific apps using a concept called vibe coding, which allows you to do anything that you have to do repeatedly. You can create an app for that. So some of the examples that I have created is there is one that I have created for giving headlines and intros for all the articles that I work on. There is another one that I did very recently for a specific purpose. So I was trying to analyze all the PDFs of Down to Earth that have been published since 1992. So I'm talking about around 850 odd PDFs. I wanted the headlines and intros to be extracted from all those PDFs. So I created an app which helped me do that. For the same purpose, let's try and create an app which will give us infographics, or which will give us better looking graphics. So if you remember in the previous video, what we did after a lot of analysis that we did on Google AI Studio was this was the visual that it came out with. And this is basically a text file. It's basically a text file with which the visual has been created. So AI Studio itself is not really equipped to do visualizations. A workaround would be to create an app for the same. So let's see how we can do it. So first, let's have a look at what vibe coding exactly is according to AI Studio. Meaning for uh, just starting out. This is something that I normally always do, and this is a very good starting point to understanding any concept, anything that you need to do. And right now we are by default on 2.5 Pro. It was not really required, but I forgot to change it. So it is taking a lot of time to think for an answer, and this is basically what it came out with. And it says that, of course, this is a great question because vibe coding in terms you'll hear a lot, la 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 la. The simple analogy is it's like cooking. Imagine you are learning to cook. The textbook coder carefully reads the recipe and does everything. The vibe coder has a general idea of what goes into cookies, into making cookies. It goes into cookies. I don't know what that means. Acha. So making cookies. Okay. They throw in blah 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 blah, and they have a dough. So vibe coding is basically intuition, trial and error based, and feels right. So this is something very important. So when you are creating these in the first iteration, that is true for almost everything that you do on AI. The first iteration is usually not the best iteration, or there might be kinks or issues with it. So you have to go on and on and on and on, improving it till the time you have a product which is wonderful and which works perfectly fine. The beauty being that once you have made a product that works fine for the kind of work that you're doing, you can reuse it as many times as possible. So let's see how we can do that. Mm, So over here, you have this option of build that you can see on the left hand side. So earlier we were on playground, which is basically where you chat. And now we are jumping onto the build option. So build option, you can see there are two things over here. Uh, so you have a prompt, a place where you can type in your command prompt, or your prompt for the thing that you wanted to create. At the bottom, you can see a lot of these supercharge with your app AI. So these are some of the Google apps that are or app enabled capabilities that are already exist. So like there is something called Google Maps data. Connect your app to real-time Google Maps data. You can also generate images with a prompt. So basically, Nano Banana will be integrated into the app that you're making. Gemini intelligence in your app, you can also do that. So all of these things you can add to your AI-powered chatbot. Control image aspect ratios. So you can actually do that. So let's do that. Let me just add this one because we want to create visualizations, right? So now I just write it. Uh, Create an app where the user can upload a CSV file and then give three different chart options depending on the data. So let's give this initially and let's see what comes out of it. So we have this image aspect ratio option enabled, which is basically something that comes from image gen. I don't know how will this help us? I'm assuming that it'll allow us to identify what size of the visualizations we want. We have said that we create an app where the user can upload a CSV file because we know we have CSV files ready with us, then give 3 different chart options depending on the data. So it'll be customized depending on what kind of data there is. So there'll be 3 different chart options. You can make it 5, 10, whatever. And let's see, let's see what happens. So I click on build, and this is basically where the wonderful thing happens. So we don't understand how code works. However, it is basically doing all the dirty work in the background. So if you see over here, there are 3 things. On the left hand side is a panel where you can see what it is doing. So right now it is just thinking how to make the app. So it is basically trying to understand what it is that it should do. At the bottom, you can see that you have that prompt option again. So now it has thought for 28 seconds, and it is creating all the backend files. So there is a JSON file with the metadata. There is an index.html. This is the main HTML file. So this decides how the app will look. And there are index.tsx files. I don't know what that is. And there are many other many other files that are being created. So without even knowing coding, you are able to create an app. And if you want to see the codes, so you see this is the place where your app will appear. It is still being made or created. So you click on code and you can actually see the code being written over here. So all these files that you see over here, like the index HTML file, it basically gives the style sheet and everything else and from where things are going to be picked up. Then you've got the other files as well to go along with it, app.tsx files. I am not very aware of it. So the app is ready. Do you see how easy it is? Okay, so AI image generator is a different capability that came along with it. Uh, so it is saying that upload an image. Okay, so let's try using this. Let's see what actually happens out of it. Uh, so I've clicked on it. It asks me to upload a document, a CSV file. I've created these 2 files. One is used for training. This is basically the same data point with which we had created this text file in the previous video, this visual. And there's another one that I've just created, which is a more basic one. I'll share it with you as well, just to see if it is working fine. This is A, B, C, D, and blah, 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 and the values in front of it. So let's see what happens now. So I click on this and I say open. And it says, what kind of chart do I want? Let's say I want a bar chart. It says, okay, so in the X category, I want this. In the Y category, I want this. And the bar chart is ready. I can even do it the other way around, X category. Okay, no, I can't. Okay, fair enough. So the bar chart is ready. If I want, I can shift it to a line graph. I can shift it to a pie chart. Country. And let's see. So do you realize how easy it becomes? So you can create an app. So an app which is able to do this, and it works perfectly fine. Now, if I want to make changes, let's say I want to also have the option of giving a headline and an intro. Please add a headline and an introduction option that the user will input. So I'm saying that make it optional. Optional. Also, please allow the graphs to be downloaded. So I know this download option it takes a lot of iterations because initially it gives errors because I've tried this earlier. So initially you will get a download option but it normally doesn't get it right the first time. Maybe it will this time around, just uh, out of sheer luck. But what I've said it, I want you to give the option of adding a headline and an introduction, and then also the option of downloading the image or the visualization that you want to work with. So now what it is doing again is it is again thinking, and it will automatically update the app. So that is basically the beauty of this. And if you run into errors, it'll say that there are errors, and then you can actually go back and you can fix things as well. So this is basically how easy vibe coding is. So over here, it is just the idea of what it is that you want to do with it that is important, and then it is just good to go. So it is basically, it's in plain English telling you what are the things that it is done. Let's see what it is doing right. I've said this, and this is, of course, I can certainly enhance the application by adding the options for a headline introduction, as well as providing a way to download them. These are the changes that I'll make. Headline and introduction fields, chart download button, UI enhancement. I'll allow a new download icon to ensure that the elements are seamlessly integrated into the existing clean and modern design. And you can see that these are also, so now do you see there is an issue? Undefined, user defined. Okay, sorry, it is user defined. Let's see what happened now. Come. So let's upload this. So we'll just upload the same file again. And it has an option of uh, disaster related internal migration top 5. I'm not too sure whether these are the top 5 countries, but I'm just writing a top 5 countries in 2024. And I say upload a file. Did I upload it? I think I'll just do it again. Anyways, my mistake. So disaster related internal displacements, and then top 5 countries in 2024. And then I click on the bar chart and it asks me what it is. I say country, and I say, okay, so the value key has to be a numeric one. That's the reason why the country won't come. And now do you see at the bottom, there is an option to download the chart. Let's see what is getting downloaded. Ah, there you go. So the option is here. So if I want to also make any other alterations, if I want to ensure that the user should have the option of choosing a couple of color schemes as well. Or rather, instead of asking the user to have that option, all graphs should have a couple of color schemes to choose from. Preferably a blue, a red, and a green option. Let's see what happens. So anything and everything that comes to your mind, you can just suggest, and you can see what happens with it. So that is something that is wonderful about it. And it keeps on updating it accordingly. And unlike the chat that we were doing earlier, the apps that you create are permanent in the sense that they stay within your Google Studio AI account. So you can always come back and you can always work with it. There are certain other things that you can also do. So I was hoping that the download button wouldn't work right the first time, but surprisingly it did, because I was trying the same thing a while back. I'll just show you. So this is basically a same thing that I have done with slightly different prompts with the same data. So over here, when I'm downloading it, this is basically what is getting downloaded. But in this case, it just worked fine. So multiple iterations. I'm just telling you all of this just to give you an idea of how things work. Multiple iterations are important. And sometimes some things might work intuitively the first time around, and sometimes it might not work intuitively the first time around. So once we've done with that, what are the other things that we can actually see or do over here? I'll just show it to you. Let's come back to what we did. I think this is the one that we're working on right now. Is it? Yep. Yeah. So it has done that. Let's see what it does now. Let us pick up the second file that is there. Mm, we just skip it and we just say give me a pie chart, and it is asking me to choose the color scheme. Let's go with the blue one and let's see what happens. Okay, nice. A, B, C, D, and there were multiple A's here, so that's the problem. The green and the blue options. So this is basically what it is. Uh, Let me just pick up what we were working on earlier, and let's see what happens with that. Because I want to understand something. Let's see what happens now. So you've got three different options to choose from. So that's basically what it is, and whichever one you like. I don't like any one other than the blue one. But then you can basically fine tune the colors. You can do a lot of other things. So you can create an app that actually works fine for you. There are a few things that you can also do. So there are times when you will, because this is a very basic kind of an app that we've created. If you have many other layers to it, many other functionalities to it, you might realize that things are not working exactly how it is. So if you run into errors, so you'll find those error options over here on the left hand side itself. It'll say that there are errors, or you will realize, like we saw in this one, that whenever I'm downloading, somehow the image is not getting downloaded properly. So if you want, you can always go back to a restore option. What does that mean? So all the iterations that you've made right now, uh, you can go back to a previous option as well. So if you see on the top, there are a few buttons over here. So you have the open version history. So what happens with that is it tells you all the different versions that we've created so far. So we had one, the first one was created 9 minutes ago. Then there was another saved app that was done automatically 9 minutes ago. Then another 5 minutes ago, and the recent one 2 minutes ago. So if you want, you can go back to the, let's say, 9 minutes ago one. So it basically is telling what were the differences. So it is saying that metadata JSON file was modified, index HTML was modified. If you click on it, I think it will also tell you what is the difference. Yeah. So it tells you exactly what was updated, even though most of us will not be able to understand what it is, but it is doing its job. It is telling you exactly what was updated and what were the files that were not updated, just to give you an idea of how the updations have happened. And then you can click on restore to version. So let's say if you click on restore to version, it basically does the same thing. It is restoring the app to a previous version. So this is another thing that you can do. If you want, you can always do that. A few other things that you can do is you can go for a full screen option when you're using it. So you have to appreciate the fact that right now it is not published anywhere, so you can't really share it with anybody. But you can share it internally. You can share it, but you can't really put it up on a website or something. So you can go for a full screen option if you don't want to see the code and all the text that go along with it. What you can also do is in the full screen version, you have 3 options to choose in terms of the design. So it automatically has picked it up for my computer. If I were to open the same thing on my mobile phone, it'll basically come in this format. And if it were, you can rotate it as well. So you can make it like this if it is rotated. So basically auto rotation that happens on your mobile phones. And you also have the tablet options option by default. So this is another wonderful thing that you can do. What are the other things that we can do with it? You can refresh or reload the app. So if you have kept it open and now you all of a sudden see there are issues with it in the sense that it is not uploading it properly, or there's some error that is coming up. Most often what happens is because this is working on the internet, uh, your internet connection might have been broken at some point in time, or because it's working on your browser froze or something happened. So you can always reload the app. So when you reload the app, it basically goes back to 0 and it starts from there on, or whichever version you are currently on, it basically goes back to that. That is one way of going about. You can also copy the app and make another copy of it. You can also download the app. So you have the option of downloading the app. So all the files that are over here, they get downloaded. So if you want to run this app locally on your computer, you can do that. But it does not really happen automatically because there are a lot of Google AI plugins that are used to create these. So you will have to install them on again. Then React is another thing that it uses for creating the user interface. So you need to know a bit of coding to be able to bit or substantial amount of coding to be able to use this properly. So if you look at it, when you click on this, these are all the files that we saw um, when we jump to the code option over here. So all of these files get downloaded onto your computer as well. You can push it to your GitHub account. If you have a GitHub account, you can do that. And you can also deploy it. Deploying it means you are paying Google money to publish it so that you can put it inside your own organization's website or do whatever with it. So you're basically making it making the app public. So depending on the usage, you will be charged accordingly. So this is something that you need to be careful about. Depending on the usage, you'll be charged if you are deploying it. Till the time you're not deploying it, so when you deploy it, it'll ask you for your credit card details and everything else. So if it is a dashboard that you're creating for your end users, for your consumers, then it might not be a bad idea to deploy it. And this is much cheaper, and basically you don't really have to hire a graphic designer, a coder, and everything else. So you can just create whatever you want to do, and you can just deploy the app, and it starts working. I will not deploy this one. I have deployed another app that I had. I'll show that how things change over there. And you can also share the app. When you share the app, you basically are sharing this entire thing with somebody else. The way you share your Google Drive files, like you can share Google Docs, Google Sheets, you can similarly do this. So the person not only gets access to this, but also to the code and all the text that is there. Again, another thing that is important is the text that you see on your left is not permanent. It is something that goes away the moment you close this. So now that we've done this, let me just go back and go to back to start, and you'll be able to see what happens. So we just created all the visualizations or all the apps that I've created. They are available over here on the left hand side. So database and image gen. So this is something that we just created. So you can jump back and this gets loaded. So that is something that you have to understand. I don't understand what we'll do with the AI image generator. Okay, so this is the AI image generator. Okay, so this is basically what has happened because we had that plugin. So I can create a majestic. Okay, this is something that it is given. Let me see. You can click on image generation. This is another app that is weaved into the app that we were working with. So because we had enabled that, so now let's see what it does, creating a masterpiece. Okay, a realistic image of a majestic lion wearing a crown, cinematic lighting. So this is basically what it has done. If you want, you can ask it to download, or you can just copy the image or save the image, and it's good to go. So all the apps that you've created will be there on the left hand side, and you are basically in the build option. So when you open Google Studio AI, this is the page that you have. So now you'll understand what all of these things mean. So you've got the playground option, which is basically where you chat. So all the chats that you have, they disappear the moment you close the tab, because at the top it reads temporary chat. So all the conversations that you have will disappear. Then you have the build option. Build option, unlike the chat option, all the apps that you've created, they are available over here. Or you can also come to this. All the apps that you've created, they are all available over here. So these are the apps that I have created in the past few weeks. And you can see that some of them have been created by others. This is by a friend of mine called Avinash. He has created it. And this is something that he shared with me. I don't know whether I can still access it, but if I can, then I can show you. So this is basically an app that he's created where he has drawn cricket information from Cricinfo. And from there, yep. So you can see, so this is basically what it is. Let me go full screen. He had shared it with me to understand how things work. So knowledgeable tutor, creative. So it is asking you to identify a persona: creative specialist, neutral generator, data analyst, journalistic reporter. So let's say we go from this and it says search the topic. Let me understand. Player versus player is something that I find very interesting. So I want to do Sachin Tendulkar and Brian Lara. Or I can just give Virat Kohli. I don't know whether that is Virat Kohli. So all the data is being pulled from Cricinfo website. I know that because he told me. And then it says I want test. And let's say I just want ODIs. And I said generate. That is fine. Fine. Choose statistic. So I want cricket strike rate, batting average, total career runs. That's it. And then I can click on. So I'm identifying the numbers on the basis of which I want this. And then the visualizations will come. And there are some cool little factoids that are coming at the bottom as well, all being generated real time. So this is another app that has been created, or another idea of an app that you can create. So the beauty of apps is that it is only restricted by the idea that you can come up with. So go mad with it, go as creative as possible when you're creating apps. So identify the problem that you want to fix and then accordingly work with it. So now it has done it and it's generating the event. Okay. Uh, 1 second. So this is what it has found. Virat Kohli and the analysis compares one-day international overall comparison. Sachin Tendulkar has a colossal 18,426 runs in ODIs. Uh, Kohli has 14,255 and something else, home and abroad and everything else. You can also create some interactive quiz, generate social media posts, create quiz stories, FAQs, create graphs. Let's see what happens when you click on create graphs. And you also get embedded codes. This is something which is very neat. So you can actually take the embed code and you can put it onto your website and the visual will work fine over there, or should work fine over there. So these are the graphs that are being created over there, and you can download the ones that you're interested in. So this is another app option that is there. Let me show you a few other app options that I have done. This is something that I have worked on, a PDF extractor. So I want the headline and intros of all the PDFs that are there. So I just have to upload it, and I just have to identify a PDF that I want to work with, and it just does that. So this is a down-to-earth magazine PDF, 60 pages of it. So I just click on it and it just processes. It can take 800 files in one go. Obviously, it becomes very messy if you upload so many files, but it is basically processing it and it is just extracting the headline and the intro. That is all that is doing. And it is also trying to club it into different categories that I have predefined. Like this, pollution is one of the categories, policy is another, environment is another. So there are 9 categories or 7 categories that I have given. So it is basically trying to put it in that category. If you want to see what the categories are, you can come over here. And so these are the categories. I have air, agriculture, energy, health, extreme weather event, water, blah, 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 blah. So these are basically the categories under which all the stories will also be put in. So this is something that I had asked it to do. And this takes slightly longer because obviously it is going through an entire PDF to do the analysis. But once it is done, it gives you a list of an Excel file or a CSV file with the name of the headline intro. So we'll come back to this. Let me just, while it is being processed, let's go on to the other one, just to give you an idea of what all is possible with it. In this one, we have 1 second. This is the AI social media post generator. So let's pick up anything from the internet. Let me go to down to earth and let us pick up any article that we feel like. Let's say this is the article that I want social media posts to be created out of. So I click on this, I just copy paste a portion of the text. The relevant portion is what I'm assuming. And then I just jump back 1 second. Then I just jump back. Okay, this is done. Anyways, I'll come back to this. Then I just jump back and I just paste it over here. And I identify which social media I want the post to be generated for. And I click on generating, and it has created a Twitter post based on the text that I've uploaded. And if I want a LinkedIn post, which will be slightly longer, it'll do that as well. So the LinkedIn post and the Twitter post is created. I've also created another called the headline and strap converter. Let's do the same thing. So it gives you 13 options because I had asked it to give 13 options of headlines and strap depending on different platforms. So for magazine, for website, for print, different kinds of headlines that will generate. So I just copy pasted the same article that for which we had asked it to create the content, the social media posts, and it does this. In the meanwhile, let's jump back and let's have a look at this. So it has analyzed it. I'll just do a full screen. And what it has done is, this is one of the article headline. This is the strap that went along with it, the issue number, the date, the year, and the category. Similarly, all the other articles that are there in this magazine, it has done that. It has pulled it out and it has given a tag that it thinks works best. So if you were to look at this, this is NGT Tribunal taking suo motu cognizance of a down-to-earth article highlighting pollution in Nyai River. So it has gone under the water category. This is toddy yielding palm trees. So it has kept it under forest. So you get the idea. This is Karnataka High Court has urged sewage treatment plants across the state, the curb manual scavenging. So it has gone under waste. So this is basically what it is doing. It is not only extracting the data from the PDF, it is also giving different categories to it. So that is another thing. Let's have a look at this one that we just clicked on. So these are the different headline options about AMR. So the article was on AMR, different headline options and little different strap options to go with. SEO optimized, that means the keywords are there. So there are 13 options that it has suggested. You can pick up the one that works best for you. So this is something that I personally think is brilliant. The ability to do so many different things with this ability to create apps. You can personalize apps for your own use case scenario, and then you can basically use it as many times as you want. So there are limitations again over here, limitations not in terms of what you can create, but limitations in terms of the tokens that you have. So if a lot of people are using the app that you've just created, like the one that I use of my friend Avinash, if let's say 100 people start using that cricket info app that he has created, then it would quickly reach that 1 million token, and then he'll get stuck. I had the same problem when I was doing this. So I have done this for 850 PDFs, and each of the PDF is on an average around 300 to 400 MB. So all of them combined, it was around 70 GB worth of data that I wanted to be analyzed. So what would happen is after every few issues, I would hit the 1 million token, and then I would have to wait for an entire day to come back and again do it. So what I did was I deployed the app. So now I'll show you what means when you deploy the app. So what I mean by deploying the app is basically apps that you've created, you can do that with, then do it with that. So you can deploy an app. So when you deploy an app, you basically being billed for the usage. So you are paying for the usage that is happening with it. So I'll just show you. So then this dashboard option becomes live. So I have basically published the PDF extractor app that I have. So this is basically what it is. This is the project, and this is the usage that is there. So now I'm being billed for this. So usage had peaked on November 26th when 40 API requests were made. So you can do this as well. And if you do this, then it is available. You can share the app directly with your users. So that is something that you can do. So let me just show you PDF story extractor. So this is the one that I have done that. So when I do this deploy app, it asks me. So I have this DT analysis, and this is basically the app that has been deployed. So I can share this code and I can embed it and I can do everything. So it is asking me, do you want to redeploy the app? I'm saying, no, I don't want to redeploy the app. So it is basically the API key you can share with anybody, and you can embed it into your own website, or you can click here. And now you can see that this is opening in a different interface. So this is basically giving me all the metrics of how much has been the usage. Obviously, I'm the only one who's using it right now. I don't know what happened right now. Oh, it is asking me for a two-step verification that I'm avoiding for a very long time. Anyways, so you get the drift. You can master an app, and if you want, you can then publish it as well. I know a lot of my friends used this to create live dashboards during the Bihar elections that just got over. So I know Hindu did it. I know a lot of others did it as well. So as and when the results were being released on the Election Commission website, they created an app which would pull the data directly and would create visualizations over here, and then they deployed the app onto their computer, onto their website. So real time the counter was being updated. It is that simple, and you can do it without any experience of coding or anything to do with HTML or anything other. So the heavy duty work is being done by Google Studio AI. You are just doing the important task of having an idea. So that is basically what it is. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.